So let me just start with adding examples, right? Let's say you want one mask, one shoe, and one shirt. But then you change your mind and you say that you actually don't want the mask, but you do want two more shoes, and you want 3 more shirts. And I'm messing up masks, shirts, and all that. But the addition of these two matrices is 0, 3, and 4. Okay, it's kind of the easiest thing you could possibly think of. You can only add matrices that are exactly the same. What is this matrix? How many rows, how many columns? How many floors, how many elevators?
1, 3...
3 floors, 1 elevator. Right? 3 floors, 1 elevator. Gives me 3 floors and
1 elevator.
Okay. We couldn't multiply these matrices. Right? So we can only add matrices that are exactly the same.
Okay.
Okay. Now, before we talk about dividing matrices, what I want to do is I want to ask you, have you solved 2 equations in 2 variables before?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I wrote something like 2x minus 3y equals 5, and then I wrote, how about x plus 2y equals -1. You would know how to solve this?
I think so.
Okay. So what would you do? Here, I'm gonna let's do your writing in a different color. Do your writing in red.
Okay.
Okay, what would you do to solve this?
Minus. And then this would become plus. This is now a minus.
Okay.
Or is there any way to erase on this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You can't erase the plus.
Oh.
It's okay.
Oh well. Okay. Then we'll take the pen and we'll get rid of that. Is equal to +1 now. So 2x. So never mind. That will now become x. So minus 5y is equal to 6.
Okay.
And then we have a third equation. How will that help us?
So I think what you really wanted to do was multiply this one by 2.
Yeah.
Right? So now you're remembering how to do it. Right?
Yeah.
So when I
Because you
multiply
want to get rid
this,
of one of the variables so you can do the rest.
right. So let's back up and do. I'm going to rewrite the equations. What do we have? 2x minus 3y equals 5, and then we had x plus 2y equals -1. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you said was you could multiply the bottom matrix by -2, right? And this becomes -4y, and this becomes
2.
+2. Okay. Then what we're going to do is add the 2 matrices, or I'm saying matrices. Add the 2
equations.
Add the 2 equations. We'll get 0 minus 7y equals 7. Right? And then, of course, y equals what?
So y will equal -7.
-1. Okay. How do we get x then?
We just plug -1 into the easier equation.
Sure. Which one's easier, do you think?
Hold on. Let's see. Let's use this one because it will come out to be a positive number.
Sure. So 2x plus 3 equals 5. Of course.
Minus then x is equal to y. That's
X
very
is y.
interesting.
Right? So the answer is x equals 1, y equals -1. Okay? Now that's kind of a review. That's sort of easy stuff. Right? And it's good that we reviewed that you have to multiply by -2. Right? Okay. In the language of matrices, this equation, I can take, okay, now, this equation, this pair of equations that I just had, 2x minus 3y equals 5, and x plus 2y equals -1, or was it 1? Can't
It
remember.
was
-1. -1. How would you write this pair of equations using matrices? Well, I'll just illustrate it, and then, uh-oh, something happened. Oh, here it is. I'll just illustrate it, and then you'll see what I'm talking about, all right? I'm going to take the coefficients, 2, -3, 1, and 2, and I'm just going to write them in. Okay?
Okay.
Then I'm going to take the variables, and I'm going to put the variables like this. Okay? Then I'm going to take the answers.
This time. They can multiply.
Well, it's not an accident, right? Because
No, not exactly.
each variable had a coefficient, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm going to take the answers, and I'm going to write the answers. Okay? So let's actually multiply the matrices on the left. What do you get? So first of all, the matrices on the left are 2 by 2 and 2 by 1. Right? So that means these 2's can talk to each other,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And what we're going to be left with is 2 by 1. Okay? So whatever we have at the end is going to be 2 by 1.
Okay.
All right? So now I'm going to multiply the matrices on the left.
Okay.
2 times x minus 3 times y. I'm going to add them.
Okay.
1 times x and 2 times y. Okay? Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Equals 5, -1.
Okay.
All right? What did we start with? We started with 2x minus 3y equals 5, x plus 2y equals -1. We decided, hey, when I write it in this matrix form, maybe it's going to work. And when I multiply it out, sure enough,
It works.
that's exactly what I need. So now, you asked about dividing matrices. Okay? Well, if I had an equation and it said,
Do you want to make a new presentation for this one?
no, if I had an equation and it said ax equals b, how would you solve for x?
Both sides divide by a.
Right, both sides divide by a. Okay? Well, that's kind of what I have, in that I have a matrix that I can label A, and I have a variable matrix, which I can label X, and then I have an answer matrix, which I can label B. Right?
Yes.
So to solve for X, I kind of need to divide by the matrix A. Whatever that means. We don't know what that means. Right? But in keeping with the idea of this is how you solve equations, right? If I go back to this setup, what I have is something times a variable equals something. If I'm going to solve for the variable, I've got to be able to divide by this matrix.
Okay.
Okay?